Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Lockdown Daily Update. I hope you guys had a good day trading today. Today's Thursday, April 30th. Today is the last day of trading for the month of April. So it would be nice to see, look at the monthly charts now that they have finalized. We had a pretty good month in month of April, and that monthly candle is looking pretty solid there for now. So we'll be looking forward to what is to come in the month of May. Let's start with the short-term sentiment of things here as we do every day. First, let's talk about yesterday. We talked about the big gap up. We saw the continuation to the upside, and we pulled back a little bit, and then we saw a little bit of gap down here. I think this is the first down gap that bears have opened up. And then we saw, you can see it throughout this move since, I think last time we saw a big gap down was April 20th. Ever since then, there hasn't been any big gap, hasn't been any gap downs. But this gap down is pretty, it's not that significant compared to some of these bigger gaps. And even this gap was pretty significant. Even though this thing came down, ate up, half of this gap, and this gap, the remainder of this gap is still bigger than this gap. So I wouldn't put too much weight into this gap at this point. But I think what I'm seeing right now is obviously, we've been talking about this, short-term uptrend support. And we're hanging around in that vicinity here. I'm guessing that's going to be the last level of Fibonacci. I'm just doing a very, very short-term Fibonacci analysis. And you can see here, that's definitely the last level of a Fibonacci here. You can see. So we got first level, second level, third level. We saw that long, I think this was the first hour. We gapped down, we came down hard, got back up, pulled back again, and then got back. So a pretty volatile day today. And we can see that that level has been acting as support. And we've been talking about, that's kind of what I mean is that, when the bear's trying to march it down like this, they're going to be met with the support. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. You can see, we got that, that short-term support. Bears were not able to fill, as of today, they might able to try that one more time tomorrow. But bears were not able to fill the entirety of this gap. So if they continue to try, if the sellers continue to the downside tomorrow, then you can see that we have that uptrend, that rising moving average, the short-term rising moving average, right? That moving average has been rising. So we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the minor term. So we have the support, that moving average here. We're currently hanging around in that vicinity, which is coinciding with this. And then the gap fill area, right? So the gap fill area 285 is a support, and the whole entire 285 is a support. Keep in mind that 285 is going to be pretty strong support because that has been a prior resistance. That's the level that became a prior support. And then that's the gap area. You see that we have that gap, the gap up area, and then also the opened area from April 27 where it gapped up, and this is area where it gapped up from here, April 28th. So we have a lot of support. This is kind of what I mean. I think, again, I've been saying it for this entire week. Best way for the sellers to truly bring it down at this point is, because the sellers don't want to deal with this gap. Don't want to deal with that, rising moving average. Don't even want to deal with 285, 285s, gap it down like hard, right? We're talking maybe 285 or something like that and bring it down. If we see something like that, keep in mind, if we just pull back out a little bit, you have that longer term moving average residing in that vicinity. Keep in mind, we do have this longer term moving average. This is a 65-minute chart, 70 SMA, 70 SMA, right? That is a 30 EMA. So anyway, that 70 SMA and the 65-minute chart has been acting as pretty solid support. Not to mention, last time when we found support here in early April, and everything started from this, and we had 20% run. So we have to keep that in mind that this support, this rising moving average does have pretty impressive resume. So until proven otherwise, we have to give benefit of the doubt that that level, it could act as pretty solid support. We're not there yet though. I'm just giving you potential scenario if bears were to able to bring it down. We have so much supports in that vicinity from 289 to even 282 that's best bet is that they really want to avoid just marching it down. Even today we saw a little gap down. It's trying to march it down, but every time it seems like they're met with some buying pressure pretty much throughout the day. So that's going to continue if the seller's going to bring it down, march it down, we're going to continue to see buyers showing up because of all these support in the gap area, the moving averages, the rising uptrend support, and all of that. For the buyers, bulls, you can see that so far the gap has not been filled all the way as of today. So for now, when the gap does not get filled all the way in itself, it actually favors the buyers. I think that's why we saw a little bit of buying pressure on the last hour, because I think because we saw like right away gap down, price tanked. Let's zoom in here and analyze this real quick. We saw that shooting star type of candle here, right? That long lower wick or upper wick, right? Kind of more like a gravestone doji there. And, and then what happened was we saw gap down, and it wasn't significant. It was more of a smaller gap. And we opened here, right, at 291.74. It tanked. That's what that long lower wick is representing. It tanked at one point, came all the way down to 289. And then dip buyers showed up in that vicinity, got right back up. And then next hour, we saw continuation to the downside. And the next hour, continued downside. And then a few hours, we're just hanging around here. And I think at that point, buyers are like, okay, we're not seeing much of a selling pressure. They kind of, bears kind of expose some weakness there, at least in the very, very short term, right? In just a couple hours. And then that's when we saw that, in the last level of Fibonacci that I've just, just put it here on just earlier. That's the level we held. And then we saw that little bit of a buying activity there. So we're back at it. This could potentially be, we don't know that yet. We need to see a follow through, potentially be some kind of a, 4-day bullish reversal candle pattern, potentially morning star. Usually morning star reversal consists of three candle patterns, but this is bearish candle, and you got that inverted hammer there, kind of a doji splitting top type of candle. Basically, just kind of a indecisive candles there, and then we saw a bit of follow through move here. So potentially 4-day candles reversal pattern if we were to take out 291.20 in the first and second hour of trading on Friday morning, which is tomorrow. If we see buyers coming in, start getting above this level and hold above it in that first hour, and I have to say on the second hour, bulls are going to come up here and trying to challenge this gap, even fill that gap. If that gap gets filled in the first couple hours of trading tomorrow morning, it is going to act as resistance. That's why gap area is always important. It is going to act as resistance. And once that gap gets filled, we're going to see sellers coming back in, and then we're going to see a pullback. And at that point, you want to kind of look at this level where it all started, see if that level holds. So going into tomorrow, I think I'll first watch and see if the buyers can able to clear above 291, 291.10 or something like that in the first hour. And if you can hold above it in the first hour, you're probably going to see in the second hour, buyers are going to try to come back up here and challenge this gap area, even fill it. Probably going to fill it if we see a pretty aggressive buying pressure in the first hour. Once it gets filled, we're going to see a pullback, and we have to look at and see how it closes tomorrow night. Bears, you're trying to start marching it lower. Again, like I've covered in this video, there are too many support areas in the vicinity, so you gotta watch out for that. A big gap down, big flush. That's what bears want to see. This is not gonna do the job. It's the gap is too small. Remember how these kind of big gaps is what bears are looking for. One last one, let you guys go with this. Also keep it in mind, we are still in a vicinity of higher lows and higher highs. We want to continue to give benefit of the doubt in the longer term picture here, looking at this, right? We have the low and the low, high, higher high. We still got higher high, and that's how market cultivates and establishes an uptrend, right? Market does not go straight up, not always. It's gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down, until that sequence change to something like this with the lower highs and lower lows. We want to continue to give benefit of doubt here. What I'm seeing is I see a little bit of bearish divergence. Little bit of bearish divergence like we saw in middle of April and early April. So you can see that we got a little bit of bearish divergence. Last time it did this, last time it did that, and this is where we're at today. But keep in mind, in late March, in March 31st, we did see continuation. We see another gap down. We came and did retest that longer term moving average. After that, bearish divergence has been formed on this 65-minute chart, short-term chart, right? However, in April 9th, we saw that bearish divergence also, but we did not come down and retest that longer-term moving average. So we can't say because we have a bearish divergence, we're gonna see a tankage. We can't say that because right now is one or the other. It's 50% chance. Because like I said, here we didn't see a tankage. We actually saw market, going higher. Here we did see continuation to the downside. So here is a question mark. It's 50-50, right? So are we gonna maybe continue higher tomorrow, or are we gonna see a continuation to the downside? So like I cover in this video, if we do see continuation to the downside, you wanna watch some of those levels, a lot of supports there. If we do continue to the upside, we have the upper gap area that was just opened, this little gap, and that's the level to watch, right? So you guys enjoy your evening, and good luck trading tomorrow.